6 cups of apple cider, not apple cider vinegar, sea salt. The turkey I'm doing today is anywhere from 12 to 14 pounds, so you will need to adjust the amount of salt that you use. And I'm just using equal parts salt, and the last one you saw me toss in there was brown sugar. You can use white sugar if you want. I'm trying to mimic or sort of generate the flavors of the Caribbean in here. You know, Christmas time, and it's all these warming flavors to complement that apple cider that we get, you know, that lovely apple cider we get here in Canada. So with that in mind, boom, some fresh thyme straight out of my garden. I am not the biggest fan of rosemary, but it works in here. I've got garlic, and it's all the flavors that I like. Black peppercorn, some allspice or Jamaican pimento, and again, it's all the flavors we love in the Caribbean. So when I'm doing this turkey, it really does hit home that Caribbean vibe. I've got some cloves. Gotta love the smell of cloves, boy. And I've got some bay leaf to go in there as well too. And the reason why I have it on the stove and I'm gonna purposely smash it like that, it is because I want to, 1, melt that sugar and that salt, and 2, start releasing all those flavors. I'm gonna bring it up to a sort of a simmer and I'll let it go for about 4 or 5 minutes. I'm gonna turn off my stove and we have to cool it down. Cinnamon, a stick of cinnamon in there. You don't think turkey and you don't think cinnamon go together, but you're about to learn. Orange slices, and as I toss those in there, I'm going to hit them a little squeeze and wash your oranges really well, especially if you're based in North America, where sometimes they have a coating of wax on there. Alright, just look at that merriment in there. I'm telling you, you can drink this, you know, you can drink this. I'm telling you, it's real nice, but not with all that salt. Oi, what kind of advice you giving there, Uncle Chris? Anyhow, bring it up to a simmer, Irie. I don't know if you guys can see, I have tiny bubbles that I had going there. And that's been going for about 5 minutes. As I said, I'm going to shut down my stove now. And what I'm going to do, we need to chill this and cool it down right away. So in goes ice cubes. And the reason for cooling it down is because we don't want to put any hot liquid on that raw turkey. That will be a sort of a recipe for disaster. You'll end up in the emergency room and all kind of thing with, let me go there, right? But we're just trying to cool this down. In the meanwhile, you want to clean your turkey, remove the giblets and all that stuff like that, give it a good rinse down, and put it into a deep container that you'll be able to cover with this. This is an elixir, calling it, yeah? Here's my personal tip. Whatever container you're using, in my case, here's my big stock pot. 1, it must be able to fit in your fridge, because you're going to do this overnight. You can do this 2 days in advance kind of thing, and you need to have it chilled. Again, we don't want to run into problems with salmonella and all that. The second tip is place the bird in there first. The reason why I say that, if you fill this too much with that brine, what's going to happen is when you dunk that turkey in there, boom, everything, big mess in your kitchen. Trying to avoid that at all costs. What we have here now is that brine. Then I'm going to top it up with more of that apple cider, and I'm going to keep topping it until it's all the way filled. If you want to go in with 3/4 apple cider and 1/4 water, that's fine as well too, because apple cider can be a bit pricey. This would be tip number 3, 4, whatever it is. Right now my turkey breast is facing up. What I'm going to do, and that is the part that's notorious for drying out, I'm going to put that down. You gotta wash your hands after, Uncle Chris, and let that turkey breast sit in that brine there. All I'm going to do now is put the lid on there, wash my hands, stick that in the fridge. I have a second fridge down in the basement. It's always good to have that second fridge there. Then I'm going to bleach down the entire area. that brine has done its job. So I tossed out everything that was there. I'm going to bleach down the entire area after. I'm very observant about where all that turkey juice went there. So I'm going to bleach down the area. What I like doing at this point, now here's where you will roast it any which way you like roasting your bird. The whole idea was showing you how to brine it, but I'll continue with the video. You can stop, you can move on and stuff like that. But I'm patting it dry, and then I'm going to allow it to air dry for about half an hour before I put it in the oven. The oven is going to be at 325 degrees, and it's going to be anywhere from about 12 to 15 minutes per pound. This bird is 13 to 15 pounds, somewhere around there. It's a small guy, but yeah, paper towels, trying to dry it out as best as I can. Oven preheated to 325, and this is just my way of doing things. Carrot, celery, onion, skin and everything, and I've got the neck here. That's going to be the sort of elevation for the bird to sit off the direct contact with the pan. Plus, that's going to flavor my broth. That's going to become my gravy later on. And if you've ever had my gravy, listen, what I'm going to do is the wing, I'm going to tuck it back. We're going to kind of position that in there. It's my final pat down. And not only is that brine going to infuse flavor in there, it's going to make this breast here, especially this breast, nice and juicy. Yo, your family's going to be like, wait, mommy went overboard this year, boy. What I like doing, besides the celery and onion and carrots in the pan there, inside, so we got room there. I'm going to repeat the flavors that we had in the brine, which is orange. So I'm just going to pack that in there loosely. Try not to pack it too much, and I don't stuff my turkey. Once you stuff that turkey with stuffing, it changes the cook time. Yo, there's better ways to do stuffing. Fresh thyme out of the garden. We use thyme in the brine, and more of that. I'm still not the biggest fan of rosemary, but it works. Yeah. And speaking about repeat flavors, I'm going to put down in the bottom here now. And that is what I'm going to use to baste my turkey. And that is more of that apple cider. Remember, it's not apple cider vinegar, but apple cider and chicken stock. Again, that's going to be the sort of base for my gravy later on. I'm going to lightly tent it with foil and into the oven, 325. 3 hours later, and this is what we got. The last hour, what I did was I uncovered it, removed the foil, and you know, you gotta keep rotating it in your oven. I'm not blessed to have a convection oven with that fan, which will, you know, this is why you will see some spots darker than the other. Plus, I have bright lights here. If you're wondering why it looks kind of discolored there, it's not. But 3 hours, and you know, it depends. Like I said, 15 minutes per pound or so, anywhere from 14 to 15 minutes per pound, and you're good. Chris here, CaribbeanPod.com. Always a pleasure having you guys here in the kitchen with me. Most of the liquid in the bottom I took out and I made my gravy. During the process, every 30 minutes or so, I basted it with that, the chicken stock, apple cider that we had on the bottom there. Thank you so much for joining me in the kitchen today.